Hello, beautiful people. My name is Grace So Amazing. So, I want to invite you to be a part of my inner circle. Alright, so I am a life and personal development coach. What I do is I help people build systems. And what I mean by building systems is something that looks like habits that can help you achieve your goals in three critical areas of your life. I'm very, very particular about health and wellness, relationship and family, and career and business. Look, I understand what it means to struggle in all these areas that I have just mentioned, and I am willing to show you how to navigate through tough times. I've been there, and I'm also certified to help you navigate through these trying times. Do not take my word for it. All you need to do is click the link that you can see below and be a part of my inner circle.
If you're a woman in your 40s, then you might be able to relate with what I have to say. There is this dissatisfaction you feel because for the longest time, you have pushed aside your own dreams on the table of sacrificing for those that you love. Before now, you told yourself, when I'm done giving birth, I'm going to do this thing. When my husband finishes this project, I will do mine. And for some reason, you've put everyone else before you and pushed yourself to the back. And so there's this longing in your soul, calling for those things that you've pushed behind the scenes. And now you feel this dissatisfaction. You're restless in your spirit. You know that there is more for you, but you can't figure out, how do I get out of here? You are the one I'm talking to. I say this because I've been there. For the longest time, I told myself, you know what, I wouldn't go to school so that my younger ones could go before me. And so I kept pushing that until I was ready. Of course, my last born, got into school and I'm like, yes, this is the time. But guess what? Because I've pushed myself back for too long, I ended up making the wrong decision. However, through coaching, I was able to find my way back on track. And now I'm able to impact the lives that I want to impact, loving my loved ones without having to sacrifice anything. And you can do the same thing. So I'm inviting you to be a part of the Reclaim You coaching program that I'm putting together just for you. This is not for everyone. This is for you if you're a woman in your 40s and you want to stop sacrificing yourself but still be able to love those you care about. Click the link in my bio to apply now. I have only 10 slots for this batch. See you. All right. Good afternoon from here. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show today. And I'm going to bring up Gracie. So we just kick it off. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello,
I hope you had a great weekend.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So welcome, guys. This is Your Voice, Your Impact, where we say, we were here to remind you that you have a voice and your voice is meant for impact. And we are not just inviting you or reminding you just by words, but like the fact that we're here at all is a reminder to let you know that you can play your role, no matter how small, in impacting the lives of other people, in impacting the lives of those around you, using your voice. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Let me see. Okay. That's exactly what we're doing here to, do that. So to impact you, to get you thinking, to get you asking questions, to get you joining the conversation and, heightening your awareness about some certain topics that probably you haven't thought deeply about, or some topics that you've been thinking about and it's like, oh my God, yes, yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? So that's what we're here to do with our sessions. We're here every Monday morning. There's a Monday morning, Monday afternoon. It used to be morning, but we're here Monday afternoons, 1 p.m. West African time, 4 p.m. GST. And so we're going to kickstart by introduction. So I am the energetic EJ. I am a podcaster, a life coach, and an event host. And it's always a pleasure to be here. The way that I serve this world, okay, fine. Your light was doing blah, 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 right? The way that I serve as a podcaster, I am the host of Stretch Street Podcast, where I document stretch stories to remind you and myself often that we are going to go through challenges, but one way to scale through those challenges without having to go under completely is to assume a learning posture so that we're able to distill the lessons that those seasons, tough as they might be, are there to teach us. All right. And as a coach, I help women in their 40s to tap into their unfulfilled dreams or long term goals that they've just not been able to find expression. And that is kind of forming a weight in their heart. And, my job is to help them go through that process where they can then birth those dreams into reality. And as an event host, I'm not called the energetic EJ for that thing, okay? So I bring the positive energy to your event, whether virtually or in person. And this is me in a nutshell. So let's connect. If you're listening to me or watching me for the first time, you are welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact. Over to you, Gracie.
So. Alrighty. My name is Grace So Amazing. And I don't know if you can tell. I just finished, I've just been so self-conscious. And that's because I cried, and yeah, I did. I cried earlier today. And I'm going to tell you why I cried. And yes, that's it. So if you're seeing my eyes looking wonky
Coffee.
somehow, yes, I cried. All right. So my name is Grace So Amazing. I am a life and personal development coach. I am also the founder of Friends to Lean On Global Foundation, an NGO that is centered on educating people about mental and emotional wellness. And what I do as a coach basically is I help build systems. I say this often because I know how interesting it can be for one to start up something and then stop midway. What I do is create a system that would help you continue on your journey to achieving your health goals, your personal and professional goals, your business, relationship, and family goals. Yes, you say all over the place, right? But the thing is, there's always something that you are reaching to achieve. Where is my co-host? I can't find you. Anyways, so if you are in that space and you just notice that, look, in this area, I keep trying, and then something comes up, and I'm not, fulfilling my goals. I'm that girl that would help you build the systems so that it will look like habit. I know what habits are. It becomes automatic. You just start to enjoy the flow. And I can tell you that this throughout last year, I worked with so many people that this year they are saying that yes, thank God I enrolled for your coaching program. So if you're out there and you're thinking to yourself, how do you've done a lot and it's not been working for you. What it means is that you need someone to help you. And I'm going to be very available, for anyone. I'll be available to you if you are looking to get unstuck and get things rolling. Thank you so much. You're muted. You're muted. Can't hear you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. So let us start. It's like this. The way the conversation today is going to take us, going to be a therapeutic session. So let us open it up. What happened? Why were you crying? And it's because you said you were going to share. So please, let's start from
Oh,
there.
by all means. And you see, one thing again, even as a coach and a therapist, and all the things that I do, I identify. Thank God we talked about strengths and weaknesses. Some people will come and say, "You're a strong girl." I'm strong. I
Yeah,
agree.
exactly. But you're
I
human too.
also acknowledge when I am weak. So the thing
Mm,
that we know as therapists is not dwelling in certain areas. So that's the
right.
difference. Denying whatever it is you're going through is you sabotaging yourself. We don't do that here. We call the things that we are struggling with, but where we are equipped is that we know how to deal with it
And flip.
professionally. So, yes, so why did I cry today? All right, so today is the Armed Forces Remembrance Day.
Mm,
And as you know, my dad was in the army. My dad was in the army, and everything, so what really made me cry when I was reading for something. I have a class, I was studying for it, and I just remembered a conversation I had with my dad, and that conversation is almost what I'm going to be teaching, because he taught me, he gave me some life, the nuggets he gave me. Now it just dawned on me that this nuggets will take me for a lifetime. So just thinking about it and rehearsing the conversation in my head, and the remembrance, the armed forces remembrance together, all put together, I just started tearing up. And from what started as a sob, almost, as I,
actually wailing.
I started wailing.
Mm,
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I say, what's up? What's happening? You're going to go like very soon. But when I finished crying, I was like, wow. And the beauty of, understanding some of these things is not sucking up a lot of things, because you already identify as a strong person. I'm not taking that away from me, but I also know that I am human, and there are days that, some things would come, and it's very okay, to cheer up, say what it is, understand it, move on to the next level. So again, in the conversation, our topic is very interesting, and our topic is something that I would talk about, some things that I learned, that I saw in my dad, that got to a point that I said, this consistency thing, there is a place where some things would need to be, changed or tweaked or something. I'm sure when we start talking about the topic today, we'll drop all those things in. So first and foremost, this is to you out there. Listen, if you are grieving, or if you are suffering from anything that's got to do, and I'm doing this because of the lady that passed, that killed herself recently. Yes, 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 a banker. It's all about the news. She wrote a letter that her target was, I mean, she her figures were low, and that she was not doing well in key areas, and that she was tired of life, and then she died. She killed herself in in the banking hall, in the toilet of the bank where she was working. Yes, I'll send you the link. So somebody sent it. I think it was after that day gone that I said, "Hey, yeah, what is all this?" Just since that day, that Friday, I was like, people have people don't need to take all these things to,
to
don't suck
heart.
it up in. We are here for each other, and I think one of the reasons why we do what we do is to help you know that there is hope. I have a mantra these days. When a lot of the when somebody is complaining, I say, well, this level is it like this. That's my new mantra. It's so real to me. Since last year, towards the end of last year, I like, this level is sweet like this. Yes, because that's the new reality. I'm beginning to see that there are areas in this life that once you start to tap into, you start to connect with the sweetness of this life, and you have to do certain things, which is one of the things that we do. We are very real, I would like to say, because we don't come up here uptight telling you what to do and not to do. No, we have this conversation where we bring to life, you know, the real things of life and some of the things that people struggle with. And what makes it different with us is that we have been equipped with the tools. No, we don't. It's not like this person is a life coach, he has gotten it all, everything.
You
No,
say, you say it.
we've been equipped with the tools, and because we've been equipped with the tools, and for some of us, we have also gone through some life
Experiences.
challenges, experiences that we've been able to get out of it. And trust me, this doesn't happen to a lot of people. Some people never get out of it. Some people get out of it
Nothing.
and they move on. And some people get out of it and it is their duty to help others get out of it. So know the category you belong. I understand that my category is to go through it,
So
understand
that I
it,
can help
learn it, and
others.
take people get out of it. So if
Kalas.
that's not you, don't try too hard because you may not be equipped with the strength and energy and the
The
power it requires.
capacity.
So if you want to be me, you will miss it because it may not be your calling. However, in your own little way, some of the things that I don't know why I'm ginger to do this, so if for that lady, I was saying something, if you're going through something right now and it's overwhelming, it's okay. You can't carry it alone by yourself. Seek professional help, seek professional help. I think I should just shut up there and let us introduce the topic for today. If you leave me, I will just continue.
I mean, again, this is it. This is why we do what we do, like you said. It's the realness of the conversations that we have. They are conversations that we connect to, and
Yeah.
in talking about it, in conversing about it, we look at all the different angles there is to the topic, and we share our perspective to the topic. And our hope is that as you hear them as well, you begin to think about them and see, oh, okay, how would I, if I were to be a part of this conversation, what would I say? And that has created an awareness for you. And if it's not something you were thinking of before, then you start to think about it. And you start to, next time, the truth is you might not even accept it, you might not agree to this, but you would find out that the next time you have a similar conversation, something from what we're saying here is going to help you be more effective in that next conversation that you're going to have around the topic. So fantastic share, Gracie. And coming from that place of being real, and just establishing or re-establishing the fact that we are coaches does not mean we have everything figured out. Nah, 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 nah. I literally just did a TikTok 8 seconds video. There's a new TikTok click that it's more like when something is wrong. So somebody was trying to say something and then their voice cracked halfway. And different people have used their own POV. And for me, the reality for me right now, this week, sometime this week, my son turns 17. And the
Ooh.
reality for me is like, oh my God, I'm missing his birthday. And it's saddening, it's saddening to me, And so I used that particular clip to do it. And somebody just literally responded like, please, oh, don't let people, don't cry outside and let people laugh at you. Like people will just laugh at you. Don't know, it's more like, don't show people, don't show something like, don't show
Don't
emotion
show
so
your
that
weakness.
people will be
Uh,
pitying you, that people will just laugh
okay.
at you. I'm like, I get where the person is coming from, but I wanted to
Me
type it,
too.
but we're already live. I'm going to go back and say, see, at the end of the day, that laugh, gone, 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 is my own, what's it called? Is my own goal. The
Yeah.
reason I shared it is so that people can laugh. Because it's funny, it's a bit emotional, but is at the same time it's funny. So for me, I'm a sharer of good vibe. Yes, it's painful for me that I'm not there to celebrate the 17th with him, but at the end of the day, I know we are cool. Do you get what I mean? I know we're
Yeah.
cool. We're constantly in communication. We're constantly sharing, okay, our dreams and visions together. So I know that yes, this is circumstances surrounding it right now, but it does not mean that I won't feel the pain. Do you get?
Of course.
But I'm not going to fall for mom guilt. Do you understand?
Ah,
Like guilt,
yeah.
like, hey, I'm a bad mother. No, it's what it is right now. But am I doing anything in my part to ensure that maybe there's a makeup somewhere? Of course I am. Do you get? So again, this is just to reestablish the fact that we're coaches, that we have some tools, does not make us all sufficient.
And
As
the
a matter
thing
of
is,
fact,
I think
yeah.
I also think that I think the problem and the mindset that people have is um being vulnerable shows weakness. There's a huge difference. Oh God, I hope they get it. Being vulnerable, somebody will tell you that I don't want to be seen. If permit me to say Jesus, the one that at some point cried, he wept. Who be I? Who am
Who
I
I
be?
be?
Who I
Who is
am not
me?
be I am. I am not be who. Who that be who? Do you understand what I'm saying? Come on now. Come on now. Ah, please
Yeah. So please don't fall for
relax.
again. And that's where it all begins when it comes down to that overwhelm. And we're going to get into the conversation from this angle and then we'll spread it as it goes. Thank you for joining. If you're joining us from any part, from any platform, please, whether you're joining from X, from LinkedIn or YouTube, you can just leave a comment and, share your own experiences in the comment section as well. Is where it all begins from that overwhelm. Is the unrealistic expectation that we place on ourselves. We are not superhuman. We were supposed to
Joking.
be. We were created to be. So I'm a person of faith. So it's going to seep through what I share. I believe we were created to be superhumans, right? But we missed that privilege. And we're not
Mm,
getting it back until the second coming of our Lord, according to what I believe, right? But again, is because it's a fallen world already, nothing is perfect anymore. So nobody expects you to be a superhuman. And so if you lay that burden, or even if somebody expects you and then you accept that expectation and you own it and you make it your own, that is where overwhelm comes in. But again,
absolutely.
is yes, sometimes we are also the one that take on too much, you know, in the bid to want to be something, want to do something. There are people that like literally, it's difficult for us to just be like, why I go just sit down? I go just sit down for what? Like why? No, 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 no. Like why?
My restless nature cannot even let me. Eh?
Do you
I'll just
understand?
sit down. I know they do
Yeah,
anything.
do you get? But it is needed. That sit
Mm,
down in for a moment. It is needed
sure.
like on a daily basis. If there is anything we should be consistent with, is dealing with that to say on a daily basis, I should find at least at all now wish 5 minutes.
Intentional. Especially,
5
when you
minutes.
know you know yourself that you're all over the place. So what you now do is to be intentional about collecting yourself and packaging yourself, for solitude, for mind, for key,
Absolutely.
key.
Absolutely. So that consistency, you know, in doing that. Again, thank you, Fumi Atkins. Yeah, okay. Fumi Atkins says she's enjoying the conversation. Thank you so much for joining. All right. So that's what we're talking about. So the when consistency sucks is when you are from some of this like okay, yeah. My first point what I wrote is when you are rigid in your thinking, when you are
Mm,
consistently rigid in your thinking. Now, so that they do no questions asked. They passed
mm,
it on to you like that. You too, you're passing it on to your next. Like, there is nothing wrong in questioning. But see, you know, growing up and all of that in the faith work is like you can't question God. God expects us to ask questions. So there's a difference. There is difference with questioning and asking question. And where we miss it is when you question somebody, you're questioning their integrity, you're questioning their authenticity. Like, who are you? Why? What's right do you? That's when you are really like audacity. You are questioning your maker. Like you are the potter, you are the clay, he's the potter. You say,
mm,
potter, why are you forming me like this? That is your question. You are questioning his authority and his
mm.
authenticity. But that you cannot ask question. Why not? You ask why? No, God, why? Why am I going through this? Because it is in the understanding why things happen. It is in people finding out why do people act the way they do. That's why we started to study psychology. Why do these people do things like this? Science. It is in the why. why are human being like this? Why does this thing work like this? And then they will now find out that, oh, okay, this thing was maybe originally supposed to be like this. But if it's doing like this, then there's a problem
Yeah.
because they were asking why. Do you see? So again, when you are consistently rigid in your thinking, that consistency sucks at that point. And especially when the thinking is not serving you or serving anybody else. When it is not adding value to you, when it is not progressive, when it is not pushing you in the direction of your goals or serving, generally serving a purpose to humanity, then you want to pause and say, ah, I've been doing this. And I think that is where the saying came from. Like, you cannot keep doing the same thing and
And
expecting a
expect
different result. That is the one
insanity. That's
definition of
definition for
insanity.
insanity.
So consistency sucks when you are consistently behaving like a insane person. Over to you, Grace.
All right. So I love this conversation, and it is also going to be a reminder because I call myself the consistency queen. So this year I usually do, so I'm going to start from, I'll start from this background and then journey along as to come from my perspective. When they say consistency, it's doing something. We talked about strengths and weaknesses last week, and I now realize that inside strengths still lies weaknesses if you dissect
Weaknesses.
it. So when you do it without even understanding when to draw the
Withdraw.
line.
Mm.
And somebody said something again. I saw it online. I think it was somebody was saying something. I said that you can be consistently poor because you are doing something that you have known for a long time, but because you have um you have packaged that statement, never give up. That's why you've consistently done not something stupidly for a very long time. And
Mm.
immediately you said that thing, you said, I said, Kai, there's a way that some things just come up with
Connect.
we connect. There's a way things connect and we'll just get it. Now, I usually ask myself serious. See, when you see me asking myself questions, you will be like, how can somebody be asking the same person questions? And that is
Babe, that
where
thing na skill, oh, babe. I tell you, I pause there.
if
That thing, na
uh,
skill that it needs mastering because it's one of the hardest things to do. Because you will be like, I beg, wait, see, who go question me? But again,
uh,
that's like resistance in play there.
absolutely, absolutely. So I realized that for everything that I'm looking to grow, I ask myself, what am I doing here that
Mm,
looks like growth? I want to see what growth looks like in this area, no matter how much tiny it is. So
right.
usually we see growth in a particular way, and growth is not
It's
it's
also
not
fluid, it's not rigid.
it's not rigid, it's not linear, it's fluid. You can grow in key areas, you can grow in certain areas. So when does it mean, when is it okay to say that your consistency is beginning to suck? Number one, I would say when you're consistently doing something, and even you see, do you know what I used to tell myself? Even if nobody is telling you, you cannot lie to yourself. Self-awareness, we've talked about self-awareness, like
It has to be
in
it's a
any,
constant scale.
is a constant thing with say self-awareness. No matter how, Ejiro, you know by yourself that when you sit down, when the day is over and you're going to sleep, and you want to ask yourself that, look, what have I consistently done without yielding results? Sometimes I feel, with all this my consistency, have I do I have results? And then I now sit down and I start to write. So consistency, when you're consistently doing something and you have not been able to picture out what growth looks like, then
Mm.
that your consistency is nyama nyama, for lack of a better word, is nyama nyama, so that it will stick. That was this lady
Oh,
saying
nyama,
nyama
nyama.
nyama. Yes, if you're watching from America. So when in questioning the nyama nyama, You now know that, okay, this is it. So you can consistently do something and you will not get results. However, the reason why you may not think you're getting results is because you don't know what growth looks like. So there's that bit. So number one, understand what growth looks like to you in all areas. Absolutely. So you don't lie to yourself. Again, I'll give a practical example how the brain works. So I have done I'm still I wouldn't say I have done because it's
It's
ongoing
an
for me.
ongoing process.
Yes, I'm doing human behavior, and then I'm learning some things that is centered around neuroscience. And I've come to realize that the brain gets bored when you're doing something continuously. And that's why in my program, when I say I build systems, that habit, if it gets to a point, there's something that will be different because when the brain does something for so long, it becomes bored. And
But
so picture the brain like this: you have been doing something, oh, and then the brain just when you're starting that thing again, the brain will be like boring, boring. Like the brain will yimus here. I don't know. The brain will mock you in a
to
way,
snigger
meaning
at
that
you. Hmm.
nothing new. Nothing new, really.
Like, is
Now,
this
even
all?
is this all you've got? Is this it? Ah, for the past 1919, this is what you've been doing. So I'm going to give practical examples before I keep quiet. Now, when it comes to health and wellness, which is always my favorite, because if you're not well, you can't do nothing.
Can do
If you're not
nothing.
healthy, you can
Nada.
do nothing. So I say health and wellness. There's some people that to them they are moving, they're sure doing something. Sha. Kudos. That's good. But the thing is, what other thing are you doing? What's the new thing that you're doing that is even tiny that you're introducing to what you have been doing consistently for a while to help push you in a bit? What is that
Hmm.
thing? So this is a question that I'm asking you, questions that I ask myself. Secondly, in your business, and this is also very practical in my business, I realized that for so long I was very consistent doing solo. I can be very consistent. And then I realized that they say when you work alone, you can walk far. But once you work with people, you go even further. So in my business, in my wellness business, I've been collaborating with a friend and a colleague, and we've been able to for me I've been able to see that my own collective effort and hers put together is something worth it. Now we're sitting down again to say, okay, we have done this now consistently for this period. What are we
Period.
going to add, to help it now?
Spice it
I
up.
would to spice it up. So I would say that consistency is a good thing to have. In fact, if you have that ability to be consistent in doing anything that you're doing, kudos. But there's always room for more. So the
Right.
question you'd ask yourself is that this thing that you have done consistently for so long, do you need a new knowledge to help you think out of the box? When Ejiro said something around being rigid, I understand what it means because I've worked with people that this is
Narrow is the way.
if you do mistake and bring any they will be they will be so
Restless.
resistant, and they
Yeah.
will be so resistant they don't want to see anything new in such situation. You know that it is situations like this in the
Strongholds.
Christendom that people go for deliverance. We need to
Strongholds.
break this stronghold. So you need people in your life. You don't even need you yourself, because by the time you sit down and say, when Lagbaja came to me and this person brought this proposal, what did I say to Lagbaja? How did I react to Lagbaja? How
Yeah.
what changed? And so let me keep quiet now. But before I keep quiet, I want to recommend a book, Who Moved My Cheese? You need to get it. It can help. It's very small. You can
Nice,
read it in
nice.
2 days. So I'll
Very
just
small book, very small, but I think I need to refresh my memory of that book. Yes, 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 yes. Who moved my cheese? That's a good one. It's almost like yeah, who moved my cheese, and then the monk also this Ferrari or something like that. One of those books like that. Fantastic. Thanks for reminding me of that. I think I've read it before, but I think I need to read it again because again, that's the thing with um that's the awesome part of consistency. When you are consistency in a place of growth or with a growth mindset,
Yeah.
right? Then you are consistently questioning yourself like what else can I do here? How else can I make this better? I've been doing this, yes. Is this the best there is? Is this the best I can do? Is there something else I can do? Is there another way I can look at it? Is there another angle? And this is the very thing you talked about collaboration. I've been thinking about it. Like I'm big on collaborate. Like I'm big on saying it, but I've been questioning myself lately. Like, are you really, are you really executing on it? To an extent, yes, but it's like I can do way better. Like
Yeah.
there's a mansion for improvement, not just a room for me. There's a mansion for improvement for me in that area of collaborating. Yes, be doing it intentionally, doing it selectively, because again, it boils down to you being understanding yourself again. Because if you're that person who gives your 100 into everything, it is painful when you have to join forces with people who don't. It is painful because you end up wanting to do everything. Like, why you they slow now? Why you they dull me? Why you dulling me? Then you now end up doing everything. You now end up getting overwhelmed, getting angry. Like, okay, so what's the point of this collaboration now if you're not doing anything? Let me just do my thing. Do you understand? Let me just do my thing because I don't like people dulling me, right? But again, is to now ask the question, how else can you do it? Maybe the fact that you are very fast at doing things on your own is also the consistency or the things that you have been consistently inclined to over a long period of time. Maybe it is time for you also to learn how to allow people in and how to watch people make mistakes and learn from their mistakes, even though you are there. To just watch and say, okay, I wish you could do it like this, even though you know clearly that I can tell you, say, do it like this, do it like, but you're like, at the end of the day, if you just tell the person, do it like that, you're not helping that person grow. But if you're there as a guy, which is another beautiful thing of being a coach, right? To say, I don't know, have you considered like trying it this other way? And if the person does not still get it at the end of the day, I think that's another thing that we face as coaches. Like, hey God, I cannot now tell this person, "Hey, see the road. Can you not see the mass? Can you not connect the link? Oh God. Okay. How far is it? Is there any other way you can you think of any other like that's one of the hardest thing, being a coach because you can't tell people what to do. You can't, direct them directly, it's not like a football coaching. So I think one of the things that this is a segue, guys. I think one of the mix up with coaching, life coaching and sport or athletic coaching is the fact that there are two different pathways.
Yeah.
For athletic coaching, the coaches are there to like, no, do this. Or you're 10 push-ups now. Or 50, you're not going, you're completing, you're 49, do it. One more, you can do that. Yes. But in life coaching, it's not the same. But I feel like a lot of people, especially in the African, part, they carry that same, mentality of athletic coaching and just this to do. But again,
Yeah.
you know, something that this is why we do what we do as well to let you know, say, come, when you want to allow a child grow, have you not noticed, have you not experienced it yourself, that it is where, I don't know about you, let me talk about myself. When I was growing up, if as in, weekend is coming, we know, okay, maybe this backyard is dirty, oh. So in my mind, I'd always say, tomorrow morning, like this morning, Saturday morning, I'll wake up early before everybody wakes up. I'll go and clean, cut the backyard grass, clean it, sweep it. So that by the time people wake up like this, you just see that the place is clean. Grace, is that night that my mom will now say? Is that that my mom will now say? You know, not see us all this place dirty. When I go just there, that thing used to pain me. I will not do it though. I rather push my younger ones to do it. I will not do it because it's like, why do you have to spoil my surprise. Like,
Plan.
why do you have to spoil my plans? I wanted to do it. Why do you it's not that grown up like auntie, calm down. Well, I wish you know that you have that plan before. But again, it's like for me, it's helping me understand coaching better. That
Yeah.
people intrinsically don't like to be told what to do directly,
Yeah.
even though they want to be told what to do, but they don't
Yeah.
want it directly. So, but when you guide them with questioning and have them answer from themselves, they are even more motivated to do it because they are the one that answered it. "Ah, so how else do you think I do it?" Yeah, okay, that's fine. Would you try it out? Because you are the one that gave the answer. You'll be motivated because like of course I know what to do. I know what to do. Yes, I know you know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just helping you, do what you know. All right, as a coach. So again, when consistency suck is also when you fail to adapt.
Mm.
Adaptability. Like you were saying, this is how we're doing it consistently. No, so it's like, and for me, I would say this touching story for me, and I'm a work in progress in that regard. But I remembered, when my dad, I feel like he didn't adapt. He didn't adapt. So my dad had been a sailor since it was younger. Before I came into the scene, he's been a sailor, and then he grew his way in ranks till he became a captain before he passed. And I think this was one of the reasons I dropped out of secondary school, by the way. And I was in
Wow.
SS2. I did tried GCE, and then I failed account in SS2. I did GC in SS2. I failed account. I'm like, eh? And I was in commercial class. Also, I'm like, nope, I don't dey do it again. I'll not be accountant again. It was in SS2 that I decided, no, I'm not doing commercial again. I'm going to arts. But anyways, so he lost his job then. I think this must have been
This your
20.
story. We never hear and well. Oh. When are you
I
going
know.
to share it? Ah.
I'm sharing it now
Hey.
in bits, in parts. We learn in parts, we know in parts, right? And then, you know, I think 2000, we're just entering into the new millennium, and he had lost his job, so he couldn't pay my final year because that final year, ideally, they would ask for us as students to pay the full year's fee because that's your
Mm.
final year in school and all of that. We couldn't. We're stalling, like, oh, they were stalling, like, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. On the day we're supposed to start our final exam, like, I done mock, I done. So we're supposed to do WAEC, and then the day we started WAEC like this, they just came to call names of what they call names of debtors. That's it, and that's how I left school. I didn't go back
Wow.
because they
Wow.
couldn't pay. We tried to reach out to family and friends that time, well, nothing happened. So I'm just like, fine, this is it. It was crazy. Anyways, it was in the same season that me self I went to go and mess up at school, like I into house sports. I don't know what happened. I went to go and join bad gang, and we went out and we didn't come back, and the whole community was in array, like, hey, what to be only for us to come back. Like, we just went and we stayed late, and so out of the shame and guilt and everything, I drugged myself, and I was out for like 3 days. I took what do they call that sleep medicine back then? There's one sleep medicine back then. I
Maybe we
took.
no call am for you.
You're right.
Make you no be
I
say,
took.
na here
You
person
know,
go
no
come
good idea.
go get idea, come
But
go
yes,
carry am
you
you
did
wan
there.
do.
1,000 ways to do one thing. Anyways, I just passed out, and all of those goods, and then, but again, that was what it was. So I feel like at the end of the day, it could be two ways, but I think again he could have tried. He could have tried other things, but he was so rigid. Like, that's why I said two ways. This was all he knew. This was all he knew, at the time. Like, this was all he knew. This is all he's done all his life. So he wasn't skilled in any other thing. But I remember that when we were growing up, he would tell us stories of how he was a welder before he joined the whatever sailing, right? So I mean, it could have readjusted and readapted, but we just
Yeah.
kept on dreaming of him getting a job again for years until he passed, right? Again, that's what I'm talking about, adapting. Like, life would happen, situations will change. There are things that you're used to now that will be taken away from you. So, in adapting, is sometimes you might need to do things that are below your standard. There's
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. just to
Yeah.
get by. And it's okay because again,
Mhm.
you're surviving. If you were in a ship and you were left hanging in the sea or on an island, you will do whatever it takes to survive. In the
Absolutely.
same way in life, life would happen, life will rock our boats, life will rock our ships, and we just have to find a way to adapt. Like, okay, what else can I do? And
Mhm.
and for me, I feel like sometimes that's what some of us are doing consistently. Like, okay, Ile Yoshi, it's not working. This one is working. This one is working. For some of us, we get lucky or we get blessed and we find out what works immediately. For
Yeah.
others, we don't. We don't.
True.
Imagine who did the bulb? Is it Albert Einstein or which of them did the bulb?
Thomas Edison.
Thomas
Thomas
Edison,
Edison.
yeah. Thomas Edison. So for example, yes, his was just a bulb trying to, get light into a bulb. But let's adopt that to life, like he was trying to
Mhm.
figure out life. It means that he did 999 different things.
Almost sometimes I will be saying that who did the countdown? You know, it's that is how you know. Sometimes I say, man, I know they job us now,
No, no,
But
but,
it there,
no, 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 no.
but you continue,
But
continue.
they keep records. Let's assume,
Yeah.
let's agree, let's just
Yes,
agree.
true, 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 true.
It's like, when we watch all these sci-fi movies, you see them when they're testing something, they're like, okay, test one, record one. So they have all those records. Let's see, let's assume and agree that that's what happened, right? But imagine if that was life. He would have been trying 999 different things to get to know himself. Would he call it failure according to what he brought or what he's showing us and what he showed us and what he has established? Now it's like, no, he's
Mm.
not. He only found out 999 ways of not doing things,
Mm.
of not getting right, of not getting life right. Of course, I know it's different in life in the sense that with life is kind of finite, so you don't even know how long you have. So it's more like, okay, so what are you doing? Are you just going to keep trying till you die? But let me tell you something. That's the reality of some people.
Yeah.
But the fact that they kept trying to figure life out until life figured them out, does it mean that they're absolute failure? I wouldn't say that. Because in their different journeys, in their existence, they have done one thing or the other in how they kept on finding, in how they kept on searching to be an impact. Again, for some of them, they are the reason you are now doing the mistake you are avoiding because you
Absolutely.
saw them, because you
Absolutely.
saw them tested out. So for some of them, they are pioneers. For some of them, they are inventors, right? They tried it and they failed, and that's how you even know that, oh, this is how not to
If you
do it.
try it this way, you will fail
You
it
will
this way.
fail. Do you understand? So you cannot categorically say that they have failed. Think of the Bible story of Lazarus. Lazarus, not the friend of Jesus, Lazarus, the poor man in the parable that Jesus told. He was poor, but if if his story did not go that way, we would not have
Yeah.
any reference to say
Mm-hmm.
the difference between being rich in spirit and being poor in spirit. And knowing that the fact that you are wealthy here on earth does not mean you have a wealthy spirit. Does not mean you are going to make it to paradise. You get what I mean? But that is so again, everybody has their reason of existing in this life. I've heard of the story of somebody who a guy who was homeless, and then I think he helped a cat or something. He was homeless, he was in the cold, but then he saw a cat that was also, and then he found a warm place for the cat, but he, froze to death or something. Of course, it's a
Oh.
story, but again, because of that heart of kindness that gained him entrance into paradise is a story, right? But again, is to say that sometimes the thing that we use or the yardstick that we use to measure success in life probably is not. And so again, is for you to know that today, here and now, how am I making life better for myself and for those around me? How am I making use of the resources I have, the knowledge I have, the exposure I have, the skills I have to make life better for myself and for those around me? And I think that's what's important. So when you're consistently not adapting and just saying, no, this is how it is. Imagine if our four leaders or people who have gone ahead of us did not adapt to new conditions. Maybe a lot of things would have, I don't know, gone wrong. They were
Yeah.
adapting, like, this walking 10,000 miles every time. Is there not something else we can change to make it a bit
Yeah.
faster? So again, when you fail to adapt and to adjust to the changing, because again, we know we have agreed and established the fact that change is the only constant thing in life. So when you're not fluid to adapting to the changes that comes with life, then your consistency suck. That's my submission. Oh, Diwoma, welcome. I'm glad you still made it, even though you're late. Thank you for joining. Absolutely. She says, absolutely 100%. We must learn to adapt to certain situation than blaming. And I love that. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. That blame game is not even going to lead us anywhere. And again, that's what brought us all here as humanity in the first place. If brother man Auntie Eve has just said, sorry, I don't know, I made mistake. Oh. Say no, it's not me, oh, it's him. It's not me, oh, it's her. We cannot
You know
continue
how
to play the blame game.
you know how that even till today, when they blame certain things, when they blame anything, say, is it not that woman? Is it not that? I'm like, oh, not again, not again. So I've learned. Okay, so sorry, you're still
Yes,
speaking.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
So I'll take it from that blame part. For me, I won't even lie. I've been in a position where some things did not happen, and then I was just looking around, scouting for who to drop it on.
Who to blame?
This person, And again, talking about consistency, I like that point because it is very, very important. Most times when I'm coaching and we get into before we get into the conversation properly in terms of when we're building rapport, I love to understand how people think because
Think.
it is very important. Ha,
Right.
I almost would decline a client
Going
that is
ahead
weak,
with the relationship.
that is fixed in their
Rigid.
approach to life because you cannot really help them. So again, let me throw light into this coaching thing that we come here to talk about. You know, I love to say this story. First time I heard, and again, oh, Rema just they come. Moments with Mo. You see why your voice, your impact is something that I don't know if you have an opportunity, to speak, to do
To
something,
share.
just do.
Do it.
Just
Yeah.
do because you don't know who you're impacting. Now, when you see moments with Mo, which is someone that I respect, in fact, there was a time they said something about her on one nonsense
Blog.
media platform. I don't want to give them kudos. I don't want to call them here. They said something about her, and I said, yes. So these are the things that would come when you're on that success
Level.
ladder. Yeah.
Mm.
So if you don't hear certain things about yourself, that means you never even reach. In fact, somebody said something that there is a level you get to that when you start to hear some things about yourself, you start clapping for yourself, say,
I don't do
I don't
I'm
I
there.
don't arrive. I don't arrive.
I'm in the
I don't
top
arrive. Now,
10%.
moments with Mo, I think I just finished from uni, or I was still in uni when I bumped into the show. And there was this thing she would come interview people, and then after the show, she would bring Oprah is another person that is a case study. She was very consistent for a while, and then she saw that there's a need for things to change, and she closed her show. So that's another story. But let me stick to this story, moments with Mo. And I was watching her, and for me, I like when people when people are having this conversation, intelligent conversation. It's mind stimulating. It
Stimulates
helps
you.
me. It gives me a reason to think.
Mm.
So when this woman when during her program, then when she was doing moments with Mo, she'll bring people in and then different topics to talk about it. And then at the end of the show, TC Lanre Olushola would end the show. At the time, he would call himself a life coach. And in my small mind at that time, even though I'm very grateful for the kind of mind I have, I've always had this growth mindset. So because of the science, then as a scientist now, fresh, still studying physics and everything, I just came out with my scientific mindset and I just saw life coach. I was like, what is it they worry this man? They call himself life coach. Who does he think he is? How old is he? He's calling himself a life coach. Now, this was the ignorant me at the time. But guess what? It made me curious. I said, okay.
What is
So
life
this is
coaching?
why I now understand when people insult certain things, when people abuse it, they don't know it, they don't
I don't
understand
know
it.
it.
That is why. More money. They don't know it. That's why they
Mm,
abuse it. And it's okay. So when I hear people speak, ah, daddy, ignorance.
ignorance. Oh, now you have identified a character. That's so
You
good.
know, there are some things that when I'm seeing now, and there are many things I still don't know. I'm still very ignorant in so many things, yeah. But the one way I don't know, I collect it with my full chest. So when I see that, there are some things that you resist, you are fighting it, you say lie, it's a lie. It's because you don't know much about that thing. That's why you're resisting it. So back to the story. When I saw that, I was like, who the hell is this man? Why is he calling himself a life coach? Does he even understand what life is? And blah, 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 blah. But the next episode I watched, he said something. Ah, when he was done saying that thing, I said, you this man, I will continue to listen to you. I, the first step was denial, insult. Come on, get away from here. Who are you? Then, secondly, I started to
Curious.
scrutinize. I became curious. So we are supposed to be curious, not the other way around. But it's
Not
okay, whichever way you want to start and whichever way, wherever you are on point. Don't but be learning fast so that you catch up. It's not when we are now in somewhere you are way behind because you have refused to, push yourself. So
that.
at the end of the day, what am I saying? This thing happened many years, but I followed him and I started liking his content because he was making sense. I finished, I did not send, I moved back to I went back to school, I continued and finished and got a job. Now, I got a job in a multinational. I was doing customer service, I was doing customer marketing, I was doing, you know, but I caught myself doing life coaching based on the curiosity and the knowledge that I got from that man that I first insulted. It now
Mm,
dawned on me that, wait, there are some abilities that I have that looks like what that man was saying. Trust me, if you don't have the ability, it won't resonate with you. So
right.
don't worry. Don't if how you will know what resonates with you is your curiosity. You're constantly in that space. Because there are many things that I've listened to, I've even walked to, but after a while, I'm not
Like it's
interested.
not working. Mm.
So that would help you if you're getting confused. I have so many things I like. Focus on that one that and check out your strengths. Check out the things that. So why am I saying this? So that you know what you're consistently doing that is taking you away from what
Away
you're
from.
called out to do. So
Mm,
while I was still working, so there's nothing. I mean, I think a multinational is like the best place to learn. I learned when it comes to basic work ethic, I learned it. But I was still feeling unfulfilled because and now this story don't be too long, but let me quickly wrap up. I realized that some of the abilities, some of the things that I had, there was there was a profession for it, but it wasn't popular in Africa. It was it was there. But my ability to keep growing, my ability to push myself made me discover that what I have, my abilities, is tied to this particular profession. And you can do it in HR, you can do it in several areas. So that is the ability to keep growing. So when you talked about adaptability and survival skills, all these things are the characteristics that you find in humans. So what did I now do? I decided to exchange value for value. I paid to learn life coaching. So this is the point some people say, ah, well, well, uh, I no go pay. I no want spend money. So that is where you may not be able to cross to the next level. So
Level.
when you are being side fisted for something that, because if you don't get that seed, so you have to acquire that seed to plant, it will never germinate. For as long as you keep holding back yourself, wait, I will not spend the money, you will not get the money. So I would wrap up by saying that first things first, understand that you need to keep growing. And how do you grow? Is by questioning yourself. What have I done in the past? What do I need to add? What do I need to do? Blah blah blah. Do I need help? Yes, we all need help. Even me that my mouth is sharp here. I know when I need somebody to help me, and I have them in my space.
Cycle.
Then thirdly, what are your God-given gifts, abilities? What are you good at? What do you know? I am an encourager. Even if you're my enemy, if you come and meet me now, that Grace, I want to this, I will encourage you. I will say, you want me to encourage you? I will be the one to wake up 5 a.m. and call you out. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. To the point that I've done it, I don't even gonna know when to stop. Now that's an ability I have, right? So know your abilities, know the things that you need to do professionally to help you on your skills, to help you improve your skills. So as you're improving, as you're doing, in fact, what we're doing now is us sharpening our skills. I think I should just shut up now. Grace, it's okay.
So sort of fantastic, as you just kept talking, especially when you were sharing that story with Lushala, is to say that,
And he was one that now coached me finally. That man where I thought say, he was the one that I went to learn,
do you
from.
see, what happened? And that is because he knew he had a voice, and his voice was meant for impact, and he used it. And you caught the awareness of something that existed that you were not aware of at the time, knowing, or life knowing, that you would need that seed, you would need that fruit in your own life. And that was why it
Mm,
resonated with you, even though you countered it
in
in the beginning.
the beginning, yeah.
So again, this story you just shared has just reinforced my commitment. Let me speak for myself, to keep showing up here, because somebody is going to listen to something I said, is going to listen on a show I have, is going to listen to a content of mine, is going to read a write up of mine, is going to read my book, is going to listen to my podcast, and is going to say, this is possible. How is this woman doing it? Me too. I know that I can do all these things now. But she's doing it like, it's not like she's not doing like she's stressing about it. Yes. Am I stressed sometimes? Yes. But have I built capacity to be able to express myself in multiple facets like this? Yes. So whether you encounter me as a host, as an event host like this, or a show host, or you encounter me as a coach, or you encounter me as a podcaster, you are still going to have the feel of, wow, this lady, she's so good. That is because I have built capacity over the years.
Yeah.
And so, me showing up, us showing up week in, week out, is to plant a seed in somebody that needs to catch that seed.
Bam.
So for
Bam.
you, it could be like you always know, I always like to talk, I always like to talk, but you're like, you don't have an idea, like, okay, what can I do? How can I, okay, I don't have money to pay for PEFT. I don't have money to go to school. I'm looking at just done every time. Even our program is so expensive for me. I don't know, what can I do? What can I do? You can look at us and say, okay, what do I know? What do I know? What am I interested in enough to go and do my research and just share what I've learned?
Mm,
And in that way, you're sharpening your skill until the
mm.
opportunity comes. Isn't that why they say, what do they say? Success is when opportunity meets preparation.
Preparedness, yeah.
Do you understand? So please, I know we've talked a lot today, and I hope that everything we've said, you are able to pick what resonates with you. When you're consistently involved in ideas, in actions, in activities, in thoughts, in mindsets that does not serve you or serve those around you or serve your purpose, your vision, or even the idea, even if you're not clear about all those things, but the idea of this is the direction that should be going. If what you're doing consistently is not moving you closer to that, your consistency suck. Stop it, change it, break away from it, do it differently. Question yourself, dare yourself. Like, okay, today, instead of me to go, like, some people are so consistent, so consistent that even when they go out, it has become automated. They are not,
Yeah.
they have zero awareness. And it happens to all of us. I'm not saying it because I am not perfect. No, no, no. It happens to all of us. Literally, I can't count how many times I would head out from the house, get into the bus, get to the metro. And on days that, because most of the time I'm always going in one direction. On days that I'm supposed to go the opposite direction, I would have entered the metro going to the other direction, be like, oh my God, I missed it. So I'll now come down and turn back. But that is the thing. So nowadays, I challenge myself. Sometimes, instead of me to maybe take a bus from here to here, and I know I can walk it, I will stop and walk so that when I walk, I can even know the. That was how I discovered an
Area.
African store in my area. I just decided like,
Wow.
this road today, I beg, I can't wait in this bus to go because where I stay, the bus will go round and round and you'll be looking at your house like this. But the way the bus will go to before I get to the destination, I'm like, okay, this place is closed. Let me come down. And I walked. I was looking at all the buildings in the house. And then I passed one grocery store. I saw different African. I'm like, what? There's an African store close to me. No way. I entered the place. I'm like, oh, now I discovered this. And now I walk from that place most times. Again, break the cycle, break the pattern. Don't be too rigid. Don't consistently do the same thing. It sometimes it's like what you say, you can consistently do it and be getting a level of result. But when you shift a little bit, your result becomes exponential. So again, I think it's still boiled down to awareness and that curiosity. Keep being curious, keep asking questions. Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Mohammed, for your contribution. Mohammed says it's such a wonderful video clip to hear. Very true that consult. Oh, okay. Consistency sucks sometimes. It's benefits to have some degree of consistency now. Absolutely, but only when they are practical and helpful for us. There is no value in being consistent with your daily activities if they aren't assisting you in achieving your goals. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed Shamim. Thank you so much. Awesome. All right, Gracie, final words, final words. And this is interesting. Thank you. But we
All
need
right.
to now
So,
think of how we will spice this up. Oh, I'm
oh
just
yeah, I
saying.
mean, so the interesting thing, if even if we do say so ourselves, we realize that we were doing it on a particular platform that was not, apart
True.
from the problem that the stuff was giving to us, we were able to we did not go past there, we did not sit down there that we die here, we die. No, 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 no. And then we also spiced it up because it used to be just you and I, but we also spiced it up. We brought in people. Yeah,
Yes.
if you say what are the things that we've done, I can give you. So it's natural because we have learned it. We're still learning it. When we do
Absolutely.
it, it is when we're now going backwards. We see that actually
We did
we have
it.
been we are doing it too. And that's the beautiful thing. So I'm going to wrap up with this. The beautiful thing about being curious and learning and making yourself available to learn new things is that when you've done it for a while, ordinarily on your own, you catch yourself knowing that this is becoming really boring and I think moribund. I would be
Monotonous.
very monotonous by yourself. You catch yourself and then you want to tweak it, you want to do something new and interesting. So it's first in the mind, have the mindset, and finally, practically speaking, you have done something in a particular area. So because life, um um we have several sections when it comes to
Yeah.
life, health and wellness, energy, love, relationship, marriage, everything, right? So you can just pick, I like to say, 3 areas, because when you're able to do in 3 areas, you're able to do it in, in other areas. So pick 3 areas. So the practical things I would suggest, and it's up to you to, do it if it resonates with you. 3 things and 3 areas in your life that you have noticed that, okay, in this particular area I have been doing a particular thing consistently, and I've not really seen anything that I would hold on to that looks like growth. Itemize it, and then look for what you can do differently to help you, introduce something new. And don't forget that if you need help, sometimes what you need is someone to assist you. I'm your girl, I can help you, and we can work on this together. Have yourself an
Absolutely.
amazing week.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Coach Grace. So amazing. It's been a pleasure being here with you guys. Remember, if you do need help, sometimes a third eye is what you need. A different perspective is what you need to juggle up your awareness. Say, oh, I never thought about that before. Yes. And that's why we're here for you as coaches. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Until we come your way again next week with yet another scintillating, interesting conversation. This is the energetic EJ and Grace So Amazing signing out, saying, have yourself a wonderful week.
How about that for something new? Bye.